name is Mike Esquivel. I'm a college recruiting coordinator here at Upland High School for football and other sports here at the high school. Well, when I played here, like I said, we had a lot of great talent. In our school and a lot of schools, it was, the hours that coaches put in, very, very demanding. But when the season was done, it was more of, there was no one really helping out as far as college recruiting, like camps, what camps to go to, information on how to get promoted as an athlete. With being an athlete in the football sport, you got to have the grades, you of course got to have the talent, and you got to market yourself for Division I. So where I was here is more of that era of recruiting services and internet was not yet booming as it is now here in 2012. So it was more of where to turn to. So when I graduated here, I went on to Mount Sac and learned promotion and marketing, television and radio from Tammy Trujillo, KFWB News 980, and also went to Cal Poly as far as communication part. So when I came back around here, a year after I graduated, I was part-time and just helping out coaching aspect. I was thinking, putting the marketing that I've learned into football. And what I did here is establish a brand new era and a brand new position. There was no position college recruiting coordinator when I was here. It was more like, what's that? Or I would, at the time the coaches would say, hey, was there a camp coming up? And they would not know because they never really, all they thought about is the football aspect, So in the off season, like I tell people, my season's just beginning when we go off in our off season. But now it's with the college recruiting on the internet, Rivals, Scout.com, ESPN, 247 Sports. Now you have to have somebody that's actively promoting your athletes at the school, not just football, to get the name out there, because there's a lot of great talent in the Inland Empire and in the areas that is getting overlooked because of where do I go, who do I turn to. And there's some information that I like to tell everybody on if you don't have a person like myself, like here at the college recruiting, how the position opened is because I offer to do it to other sports. So like I'm getting involved now in baseball, trying to get involved in sports by sports. And basically here, that's what I do all year round. So, and like I said, with football, there's not just seasonal. I mean, with college recruiting and promoting your players to camps, it's a whole year round. It's like 24/7 to be upfront with you. I'm kind of like a sports information director too as well. Mr. Jim Drake lets me know, hey, this is coach that may be coming this week, or give this coach a call. He emailed me, and I try to take as much stress off him as possible because he's involved in a lot of sports here. So what I do is I establish, like I said, a relationship over the years with college coaches. So now they just gave me a call and say, hey coach, we're coming by next Tuesday, what time's good? So I kind of take the pressure off our athletic director, and they just directed me directly with college recruiting, because now that we have kind of established ourselves, it's a lot of workload for him. So I take it off him, and we work very well together as far as doing that aspect. But as far as random, like we had last week, we had half of the Pac-12 here recruiting our kids, and the constant phone calls and all that stuff, that would be too overbearing for him. So I kind of really, took some stress off him, but it worked really well. So we kind of built a rapport over the years where, like I said, coaches just give me a call, or Coach Salter, and hey, we're on our way, and we kind of, get everything set up, get a media guide, get a media packet for each coach, and go from there.
What are 3 things that you're looking to do if you have an incoming 9th grader who clearly got a lot of talent? What are 3 things that you initially want to try to do for incoming 9th grade students?
Well, like I said, coming in and as a coach, if you establish, hey, he's a Division I talent, first thing you got to talk about is the grades. When a kid earlier on in his high school career thinks, hey, I'm in this, I can go to UCLA, I can go to USC. Sometimes it gets to their head, and sometimes they rely on their talent to get them by, or so we say, hey, you got to have the grades, because as a college recruiter comes in, that's the first thing he looks at. And because to bypass everything else, if the kid has it on the transcript as a freshman, shows that, hey, he's an academic qualifier, then for them, when that kid's going into a senior, after senior year, going into a freshman's college year, it shows that, hey, as a freshman, because it's a big transition from junior high to high school, it shows, hey, he's a very good student first semester at the university. So we establish how important the transcripts are to this athlete. Second is as far as, like culture. What I mean by that is, if you're a big-time ball player incoming freshman year, there's a lot of people in your ears. There's people, recruiting services, hey, pay this much, pay that much, and we'll get your name out, we'll get that. So when you're a high-profile kid in your community, you get a lot of the fan base attention, you get a lot of the spotlight. You're kind of like the role model for the younger kids. But as the freshman, we establish the grades, the culture of your environment to control that. Stay humble. And third is talk about down the road promoting you as a freshman. There's a player named Kenny Lawler. Right now he's a senior for us. Josh Nunes, he's a quarterback at Stanford. Currently our quarterback Nate Romine. Those kids were established incoming freshmen as potential Division I ball players. So what I do is I talk to the media guys and talk to the camp directors, Greg Biggins at the Nike camp, Brandon Huffman from Scout.com. Those type of guys say, hey, I have a young prospect, but he would be good going to your camp because it's a good way to establish his name, but down the road, he's going to be one of the headliners at your camp. So we push them a little early, but in the right environment to get looked at early on, and it has paid off. We had freshmen like Kenny Lawler and Josh Nunes and Nate Romine, who have freshman year have the grades, we give them the right classes and the right marketing ability, and their sophomore junior year, it really helped them a lot. So it has paid off, but we would probably sit down as a freshman and say, hey, look, this is what we think you can be down the road, but this is the classes you got to take. This is what we recommend, and this is how we're going to help you out in your college recruiting career here at the high school. Second is the parents the reality. Parents who feel, well, Johnny's getting pushed at here, how come my son's at? And for me, and any of our coaches here, you get the honest answer. And I would say your kid is Division II criteria, because college recruiters are coming in, they're looking for height, they're looking for ability. We have some great talent here that got overlooked because they weren't 6'3", they were 5'11". So the reality of that and making them understand, because a lot of them, they think, oh, there's favoritism going on, this staff is working on these four. It's not that. These four have the grades. These four can get promoted in this criteria. Your son may have to take a JC route, or your son is qualifier, but he may go to the Division III NIAA or Division II route. That's just reality. But when players come back and they're appreciative, of how many hours you put in, and establishing a relationship with that player and family. I've always been, giving back to the community, and starting as a freshman and promoting him in his senior year on signing day, signing that letter of intent, and just going back, and man, all the camps we traveled to, and the hours you put in, the hours I put in. And the most rewarding part, wow factor, is signing day, or even days after signing day. Kids sign after signing day and saying, man, I made it. I made it. And just as a coaching staff here at Upland and whole, being part of their success. And seeing a kid that coming in, we had a kid here who was on airborne. Freshman year, he was a backup player on a Saturday team. Bust his butt off, and he signed with ASU and stuff like that. So those type of stories are very wow. I'm glad I'm involved. Kids coming up to you say, Coach, or hey, if you didn't help me out, I would be in the streets right now. I had a couple stories of that. Or if you didn't help me out or be positive in me getting marketed colleges, I would probably be in jail. I had kids come up and tell me that, and I think back and said, that's why I do this, to help an individual who probably would have gone the wrong direction, but put some positive influence in him, and now he's going to sign or going to a Division I school or Division II school. So that's the wow factor for me, and most of the staff here at Upland is giving back, and the rewarding part is seeing them get in the right direction and going that. A lot of recruiting services out there that are trying to charge parents and kids that, who do I turn to? My coach, he coaches now baseball now. I can't get a hold of him, or we don't have the resources at our school to do that. And I hear most stories like that. Is who do I turn to? And what they do is sometimes they turn to these recruiting services that charge thousands of dollars, and now you're just a number. So you pay that fee, and now you're just a number. You don't know how much effort to put into your kid. And I hear stories all the time. I paid $1,000. I haven't got nothing out of it. Where now, if you get college coaches online, CD, like I said, I don't work for that company. I believe in that company. There's now Huddle, that's most likely, huddle.com, that mostly every high school uses now. You put those two together, and like I said, we have kids that gain scholarships, and they don't have to pay a dime to college recruiting services because it's that easy, But like I said, there's good resources out there. There's camps out there. The good camps out there don't charge. The Nike Combine locally here in Long Beach, that's normally around April 1st. The Nike camps, you have to get invited. But if you go to a Combine camp that's trying to charge $200, you gotta look at one eye and say, what I'm getting out of it, But I really, like I said, I hope every school kind of gets a structure going because there's a lot of great talent out there that gets overlooked because they just don't know where to go to, So, but like I said, the College Coaches Online CD and basically, knowing who to turn to, you'll be off to a good start.